Hi, I'm Sonja and I work for the left in the European Parliament. What would you say if I told you that French fries are actually as healthy as a salad? You would certainly argue that French fries are full of fat and salt and definitely no good for your health. And imagine if the European Commission then decided that French fries would from now on be officially considered a healthy food and be given a certificate recommending that schools, kindergartens and hospitals serve French fries and chocolate as often as possible. You would say they are nuts, right? Something quite similar happened when the European Commission labeled nuclear power and gas as green energies and gave them a certificate recommending people to invest their money in these products to help support ecological change. Today, I'm going to tell you all about this latest political marketing magic. Let us first do a little terminology here. Whenever you hear in the news something about taxonomy, this is what I'm talking about. Taxonomy doesn't really mean anything. It is a term that can be used in a lot of domains, from science to nature and economics. Basically, the term describes just the practice of classification or categorization. What the Eurobubbly people mean when they talk about taxonomy is a set of criteria for what can be called climate sustainable investments in the European Union. The aim is to channel more private money into green investments to help the European Union meet its climate targets. So imagine if you would have some money left over and would like to invest it in climate-friendly products, you would get recommendations for anything that falls under the green taxonomy label. The classification was agreed between the European Parliament, Member States and the European Commission at the end of 2019. However, at first, nuclear and natural gas were excluded from the negotiations, pending a separate proposal from the European Commission on this issue. The proposal came, but it came at a most unusual time. On New Year's Eve 2021, as we were all busy popping corks, dancing and shouting good riddance to this crazy year, someone in the European Commission published their so-called delegated act to include gas and nuclear power in the green taxonomy under certain conditions. The tactic didn't work out because obviously people realized what the European Commission had almost secretly decided shortly before midnight. NGOs made clear how scientifically unsound the whole thing is. Besides, there has been no public consultation, no proper impact assessment, and the European Parliament has been sidelined. Not very clever, if you ask me. About that, Left MEP Silvia Modig has some more information for you.
The delegated act is a power given to the Commission when we set out on legislation that they can, for some specific parts, later come with a proposal in the small detail that has been agreed on. That is a delegated act. Well, when the Commission gives a complementary delegated act, as in this situation, we as a Parliament only have the power to either vote yes or no. We cannot change it. We cannot say that we want this with these changes. We can only approve or dismiss it. And that's why we need to dismiss it in next plenary. The ENVI committee has already voted on it, and the ENVI committee's majority was of the idea that this should be dismissed. The most important thing to keep the taxonomy intact is because we need tools to redirect money flows into the green transition. And we need a science-based system so that we know that the investments done really improve the environment and helps us in our climate work. And this is why this delegated act with natural gas seen as a green investment must be dismissed by the Parliament.
So our MEPs make sure that we're all fighting for a blocking majority in the European Parliament to stop this nonsense from the European Commission, but sacrificing science for the sake of political expediency. Indeed, this process is flawed on several levels, but also emblematic of the policy of the President of the European Commission, the German centre-right politician Ursula von der Leyen. Sad but true, with full disregard to democratic procedure and transparency, deals are being made as quickly as possible. No dialogue with civil society, no willingness to listen to scientists and experts. The taxonomy was published even against the advice of its own expert group on sustainable finance. I mean, it's like my 3-year-old, like, I'm doing something totally stupid, nobody likes it, but maybe nobody realizes and won't notice. Hey, I mean, if democracy is too heavy for you, maybe you should look for another job. Seriously now, classifying investments in gas and nuclear as green is completely against existing climate guidelines. Furthermore, what the current energy crisis shows us is that we urgently need a different energy model in Europe. The fossil fuel lobby, however, is all ecstatic. Oil and gas giants reap record profits. Good for them. But the interests of a few powerful corporations cannot hold people in Europe hostage. Everybody in Europe deserves a transparent and accountable energy model offering clean and affordable energy for all. Thankfully, there are thousands of brave people that fight on a daily basis to influence the policy and decision makers to actually make the right choice. We have met one of them.
Hello, my name is Chloe. I'm a youth, social and climate justice activist and a campaigner for the Fossil Free Politics campaign based here in Brussels. Activism is essential because the EU level is often very complicated, very opaque and not accessible to normal citizens. And this is why it's so important that we do that work, that we do mobilize, because on the other side, the fossil fuel industry and other lobby have millions, they're putting millions into lobbying the EU institutions. And we see that it's working. EU leaders are listening to them. What we have on the other side is people power, and this is why we need to make these policies like the taxonomy clearer for the general public, and this is why we need to mobilize, this is why we need to reach out to our MEPs, ask them to vote that this taxonomy, because this is a crucial moment in order to respect our climate ambition. It's absolutely crucial that MEPs reject the taxonomy because in a context of a climate crisis, gas and nuclear should not be labelled as green. This is a huge greenwashing. It will be very, very difficult to stay within the Paris Agreement's ambition if the taxonomy was voted. It means that a lot more money is actually going to channeled into gas and nuclear. And it was already nonsense before the war in Ukraine, but it's even more now because we know that gas, fossil fuel, but also nuclear makes us dependent to undemocratic countries. So it's bad for the environment, it's bad for people, but it's also bad for our energy sovereignty.
Thanks to the efforts of many activists across Europe, the European Parliament is close to rejecting this greenwashing attempt made by the European Commission. Here's what the left expects from the Commission in order to approve the green taxonomy.
It's important to stop this delegated act because it tries to portray natural gas, which is a fossil fuel, as a green investment. And for the green transition, we are going to need historically huge investments, and we cannot afford to lose one. And even a child knows these days that natural gas is not green. And therefore, we cannot lock investments into energy solutions that are not sustainable, that cannot be part of our energy palettes in the future when we want to be climate neutral.
So the decisive moment is early July, when the European Parliament has the chance to reject the delegated act. As you have seen, your battles are worth fighting, and you can win even when it seems impossible. It is not enough to say green to be actually fighting for climate and social justice. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos explaining what's behind European Union politics.